welcome to today's episode of It's Still Billy Joel to Me from the Facebook group Billy Joel Completely Retold. Get Billy on there. Where it's always 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
There you go.
I got a good surprise for you guys today. A lot of you know him. He's been in Retold for quite a few years now. He started the tribute band TURNSTILES, and this is someone I've been wanting to introduce you to for a while. This is Tony Monaco. Here, say hi, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
All right. Good. Good. I'm so glad you could take the time. There, we're both on screen now. Well, I wanted to hear your story because I've known you for a long time. You joined Completely Retold about 12 years ago. And, so I've been following you, and then talking to you in just a bit ago, you say you've been a pretty big fan of Billy's from the 80s. So there's got to be a big origin story or something there. Why don't you just tell me a little bit about yourself? Because I know for a while you lived in Long Island, even though, tell them where you are now.
I'm in Boynton Beach, Florida now.
Okay.
So I got the letter, I had to move here.
Oh, because you lived on Long Island?
Yeah, well, my story, I can keep it fairly brief and give you a good idea. I mean, I grew up in a musical family.
Okay.
My dad and uncles were very, very adept at what they did, very successful. And, to me, music, it was a way of life. I was around it all the time, went through all their rehearsals, and I wanted to play piano so bad. But the truth is my parents couldn't afford a piano. It's not like you could go out and buy a $5 digital now,
No.
So my dad had a music store, and the Beatles came on TV, and he says, "Do you want to play guitar?" I went, "Yeah." After seeing the Beatles, yeah, I'll play guitar. So he tried to get me for just a little bit to play violin because that was his instrument. Couldn't do it. But I played guitar for probably about 5 years. And when I was 13 years old, I won a national competition.
Oh, jeez.
Stuck with it, I would have probably been a really, really great guitar player by now. But as life went on, I started playing in bands, and we needed a keyboard player. And I could get around a keyboard a little bit back then. I was like 13 years old. So I decided that I was going to teach myself. And I did a pretty good job. And I went through, the Farfisa organs, the Hammond organs. I still have a Hammond in my studio. So I was a B3 freak, which I know Billy is because I had discussion with him about that. And I eventually got to piano, probably when I was 17, 18 years old. I mean, I could play a little bit, but I couldn't play like I, thank God, can play now. But, and I wish I could play even better, but, you do the best you can, right? Everybody grows every day.
Yep.
So I was in an original band. We did 3 albums. The band was called Thrills. And when that band broke up, I went back into the cover band circuit, and just to, scratch a little extra money. And what ended up happening was the band that I was in, my manager told me, he says, if you want to continue writing songs, because I did write, he goes, I was listening to like Chick Corea and Emerson, Lake and Palmer and all this progressive, crazy stuff. And he says, why don't you just start listening to people like Elton John and Billy Joel? I'm kind of embarrassed to tell you what I'm about to tell you. First time I heard Piano Man, I thought it was Harry Chapin.
Okay.
I
can see it. I can see what.
I didn't know anything about Billy Joel. And I think this was around 73, 72, 73, because I graduated.
So it had just come out. Okay.
It had just come out, and I didn't like it. I thought it was cheesy. And when he said, "You got to listen to Billy Joel," I went, "You mean the guy that does Piano Man?" And he goes, "Well, you need to learn."
Yeah.
So he says, "Just go out and buy a couple albums." Well, I bought the first 3, and I fell in love when I got to actually hear him and hear the diversity. And I mean, his chops were incredible. And I said, this is exactly what I would want to be if I could.
Yep.
And, So I was in bands. We did some Billy songs. I got very familiar with it, and the more I did it, the more I fell in love with it. So when I moved down here, I was in a cover band for about 15 years.
Okay.
And I got to a point where we were doing wedding corporate things. Well, I'm making good money.
Yeah, yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah, you're
I
just
really,
the
I
background
couldn't.
music.
Yeah, no, well, not even just that. I mean, we were moving from doing like, say, Motown, classic rock. We were moving more into the hip hop stuff.
Okay.
And I'm not going to knock hip hop, but it's not my thing. Okay. And I was spending so much time programming and all this. And a dear, dear friend of mine that Mike Del Judas actually used to play with in a Chicago tribute. Him and I were on the phone one day, and he lived up on Long Island. I says, "Man, I can't do this shit anymore. I just can't." I said, I got to do something different." And I had done it up on Long Island for just a little while. The band was called Stormfront. We probably played 9 or 10 shows, and then with my regular job, I was in the automotive industry. I got transferred down here. That
Okay.
started the whole process that I was just describing. So when I talked to Phil, he goes, "Why don't you just do the Billy Joel thing, man?" He goes, "You did that really well, and you're never going to have to learn a new song." And I started thinking about it, and I said, "Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. If I'm going to play cover music,
Yeah.
I'm going to do music I love." And I mean, I'm probably much like you. I don't get tired of Billy's music. It can't make me. I told Billy that his songs were like pasta to me. I never get, I never get tired of it. And so I started Turnstiles in 2010.
Okay.
We rehearsed for about 11 months, 3 nights a week. And I'm proud to say that when we hit the stage for the very first time, we were on it.
Oh,
And
good.
the band's gone through some different changes over the years. My original bass player left due to a divorce, and he moved away. Replaced my bass player, and I had to change sax players. But I've always had a tight knit group of people. My philosophy is I want to go to a show or whatever we're doing, and I want to be happy. I want to have fun. I don't want drama. I really don't. And unfortunately, we've had some of that. And so at this point, we've had, as you know, we got to play the Garden with Vampire Weekend, which
Oh, that's
was
right.
that was ridiculous. Just to be in the building, let alone play. And then we did the 2 shows at the Garden. One was a Saturday night, then we did a matinee, which I thought was going to be dead. It was packed. And I got to be honest, we didn't play to the full arena. They had us playing as people were coming in.
Okay.
But people that were there, I mean, the floor filled up instantly. And the lower bowl, I was shocked at how well we were received.
Oh,
Really.
good.
I thought a lot of people would be like, "Are you kidding me? A Billy Joel tribute at the Garden? What are we doing?"
Yeah, but it's his home turf, so people are going to know the songs. They're going to like the
Oh, they
songs
knew it
already.
well.
As long
Yeah.
as you're a competent musician,
Yeah,
they know it's not the
we
real
made them
deal.
very happy. We made them very happy. And then we got called back. That was in October of 24. And in 25, they called us back and we did 2 more shows with them, one in Jacksonville and one in Miami. And, we've always tried. I know pretty much everybody that's doing this. I'm really close with Mike. I've known Mike Del Judas 35 years. And anytime we're together, to me, it's like family. I love the guy. And I don't have to speak about his talent. That's,
It's not
you know,
like not like a competition between you guys or different bands or like Dave
oh,
Clark or those guys.
well, I love Dave. Dave and I
Yep.
are really good friends. And I know Mike Santoro.
Yeah.
Um, there's a few guys I haven't met. There's a guy out on the West Coast that's pretty decent, but I've never had the chance to talk to him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we try very, very hard to be faithful to the music. We don't veer away from it too much. We do a hybrid, I call it, like because I listen to all the studio stuff, but I listen to the different live.
Oh
And
yeah.
I actually got a little bit frustrated because I'd hear Billy play New York State of Mind intro, and I'm like, oh, damn it, he changed it again. And I have to learn it. I have to learn it because I want to be able to do some of those. And I'm proud of everything that we've done, and I'm hoping that we have another. If I could get a good solid 5 more years, I'll be happy. I'll
That's
be very
awesome.
happy. That'll bring us to 20.
Yeah.
So, and then, I mean, like I said, I met Billy a few times. In 2018, I went up to Long Island for a wedding.
Okay.
And I told my wife at the time, I said, I really want to go by the bike shop because we were in the Oyster Bay area. And it was a Friday afternoon.
Now, did you want to go just because you wanted to see the bikes, or you think, well, maybe he'll be there?
It's really ironic because I had been on the phone with Brian Ruggles about something.
Who you're friends with? Yeah.
Yeah, family friends. My oldest son's going to be 40,
Okay.
and I got Brian Ruggles pushing him in a swing when he was 7.
Oh,
That's how long
jeez.
I know him. So we were talking. It might have even been about his mother's birthday because she was like very special to me. And I lost my train of thought here. So
Why'd you go to the shop?
yeah, well, Brian told me, he says, yeah, I got to get out of here because we're in North Carolina tomorrow. That was the day of that I was there, that I had went there. And we pull up and the place is all lit up. And my wife at the time, again, she goes over and she goes, look at the hours. Monday through Friday, closed. Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday, 9 to 5. I went, you got to be kidding me. And it was lit up and everything, and I saw
Okay.
some movie.
Yeah, it's more like a museum than with just a couple shifts on the weekend. It's not like a regular business you could. Well, it's not there anymore, but when it
Right.
was.
But anyway, what ended up happening was I went over to the garage door, which was glass, and 30 feet back was Billy. And I waved. I was like, no, I just went. And he had a cup of coffee, I believe that's what it was. And he set it down. He comes walking towards the door. And now Diane's over here. And I said to her, I says, Billy's coming to the door. She goes, you're hallucinating. All of a sudden, the door opens. And he goes, come on in, guys. And he didn't know who the hell we were. It actually
Yep.
it was like, why would he let me in?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time since I was with him. He probably didn't even recognize me. So we went in, had some small talk, and my wife was doing the "How are the girls?" that kind of thing. And so I started.
That's okay.
talking.
When I met him, my wife ended up slapping him on the shoulder after he told a joke. She's like, ah! She smacked him like, you just hit Billy Joel.
Yeah, right. Well, when we started talking, and I told him that I told him, I says, I met you a few times in the '80s. I'm sure you don't remember. I said, but we have some people in common, and I talked about Brian, and I said I lived in his mom's house for 4 years.
Oh, cool.
And he said, oh, yeah, Ronnie, because her name was Veronica, but he called her Ronnie. And I says, by the way, Billy, I do a tribute to you. And he went, really? And I guess it's my own paranoia. The way he said it, I wasn't sure if it was a good or a bad thing. I'm serious. And then I was like, okay, let me soften this a little bit. I said, the band's called TURNSTILES. I just want to know if you've heard of us. And this is honest to God truth. His whole demeanor changed in a very good way. He went like this, and I can't do an impersonation of Billy, but he goes, oh, yeah, man. I know who you guys are. He
Awesome.
goes, I checked you out. And then he goes, thanks for keeping my music alive. And I went, can I give you a hug? And we hugged, And then I had this jacket on that I don't even know if you know about it. I should have brought it down. They did this jacket for him. It was a denim jacket. There was only 400 made. And my son got me one.
Okay.
And I had it on that day, not even realizing. And Billy looks at the thing, and it has one patch that says only the good die young. And on this, a patch that says Brenda and Eddie. And then on the back, it has the garden. It's all embroidered.
Oh,
It's
cool.
gorgeous. And he goes to me, he goes, oh, that's a cool jacket. And I said, yeah. He goes, turn around. Let me see the other side. So I turned around, and he goes, wow, that's really nice. I went, you never saw this? He goes, I don't know what they do with my merch. I didn't know. So we hung out with him for a good hour.
Oh,
And
cool.
we talked more about motorcycles and life than we did music after that.
Good.
And that was a really amazing moment for me, because I wanted to talk to him in the present. I
Yeah.
never got a chance to talk to him, since he was bald. Let's put it that way. And it was a bucket list thing. So I went about my life and do what we do, and I got to be really good friends with Russell Javers.
Okay.
Russell and I are pretty tight, and we went out to dinner with our wives, and he came and played with us a lot. And then I started doing shell rentals, piano shell rentals, when Dave was playing with the Lords.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got to know Liberty pretty well, and I got to know Richie pretty well. So that was really an honor to me to even like be in the same room with those guys. So I got to know them a little bit, and I ran into Liberty one time after that, and he actually remembered me. And I said, "I can't believe you remember me." He goes, "I never forget an ugly face." You probably met Lib. He can be. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he remembered me. He put me in a headlock for stuff I'd said on Facebook. He's like, rah, rah, rah.
Wow.
So I got a noogie.
I could see that. So from that point forth, talking to Russell and having dinner with him and his wife, and I remember her saying, because he came to a lot of my shows, and she said to me, his wife Suzanne, she said, "It's not if Billy's going to come to one of your shows; it's when." So she put that in my head.
Yeah.
And then Billy had a house on A1A, a couple houses actually, a couple properties. In fact, he asked me that day in the bike shop. He goes, "Where do you hail from?" I says, "Well, we live in Boynton Beach, Florida." He goes, "Yeah, I got a couple places down there." And I said, "Yeah, I know, 1920 South Ocean Avenue." Yeah. I said, "But I'm not stalking you." So anyway, that
just
whole
comes up a lot in my work, Yeah.
yeah, right, exactly. But what was cool was we tried to do a few things that we thought might draw him in. No, we did. We really did.
See your shot and you go for it, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we tried to. We played his birthday at the Funky Biscuit, which is a small music place here. It's pretty cool. And I thought he had moved to Boca. Maybe he'll
Yeah.
come, right? I didn't. This is right before they announced the birthday before, or maybe it was. Yeah, it was the year before. I take that back. I think I get confused. There's been so
Before
many.
what? Before
Well, his situation with the
the illness?
hospitals.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously he didn't come, and
Yeah.
then we did a couple other shows that we thought were pretty accessible to him, and then January 2nd happened. So, it was so funny because I've thought about it so many times. I thought it would be so cool.
Oh,
And
what could I
always,
say different? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I just imagined him coming in some night, and just walking up on stage and go, "You mind if I sit down?" That's what I ran all these scenarios through my mind. So we were playing for the Wellington Amphitheater in Wellington, Florida, for their 30th anniversary.
Okay, so were you the only act that was
No,
playing that night, or it was a festival? Okay.
no, there were three bands, and we were the headliner.
Okay.
So it's kind of awkward, not awkward. It's kind of weird that during that day, setting up three bands, usually the headliner sets up first, right? Because you peel away the other bands and then you're left
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the. Anyway, so we decided to go grab a bite because it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're sitting outside eating, and this gentleman calls me, and he was from Massachusetts. And he wanted me to do a podcast called The Tribute Phenomenon.
Okay.
And he knew of me from Massachusetts. How? I don't know, just, internet, whatever.
I was gonna say,
And
yeah, internet's out there.
yeah, that's what I heard. So anyway, he says, "Would you be willing to talk to me?" He says, "I didn't even know you guys lived in this area. I'm visiting people, and I saw you're playing in Wellington." And I said, "Yeah, we're playing." He goes, "Can I come by and talk to you a little bit about doing this?" I says, yeah, make it around 7 o'clock because we were going on at 8:10.
Okay.
So it gets to be around 6:30, quarter to seven, and I'm in a dressing room, changing my shirt. And a guy one of the police officers, Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, PBSO, they come walking into the dressing room, and the guy goes, "There's somebody out here who wants to see you. His name's Michael." I said, "Okay, I talked to him. Just tell him I'll be right out."
Oh,
So now I'm getting changed. Maybe 10 minutes later, on the door again, another PBSO guy.
oh,
And he
jeez.
goes, "There's somebody here who wants to see you." I says, "I know. I'll be out there in a minute." He goes, "I think you might want to come out now." I said, "All right." So I got my shit together and I walk out. And for 15, 20 seconds, I was speechless because I'm looking at Billy, Alexis,
Oh, jeez.
and I'm going, "That's Billy Joel. What the hell is he doing here?" He didn't call anybody. He didn't advance it with anyone.
You weren't worried like, oh, he's shutting down my show. He doesn't like me. I knew it. Ah!
Yeah, yeah, I'll get to that. So anyway, I walked over to him, and I shook his hand, and I said, I actually hugged him too, and I said to him, I says, "Billy, what do I owe this to?" And he goes, "I don't know, man. I just wanted to see the band. I wanted to get to know the guys." And I went, "You came to see us?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "That's backwards." He went, "Apparently not." So we started talking, and his wife introduced me to the kids, and they blew me away. I mean, they come up to me and hugged me like I was their uncle.
Oh,
And they even, when Billy eventually got on stage, they ran to me.
yeah, I saw that on the.
I was like, "Wow, this is so cool." So, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was hoping that you guys had met before, just the way I saw you guys run into each other, the daughters.
Yeah,
and
well, he knew me. He knew me.
yeah.
He remembered me. But I never thought he'd come to see me in that sense. I don't know. It wasn't what I was blown away, happy out of my mind. But I imagined it being different. But okay, this is okay. I can do this. So we started talking, and people started coming in, and I talked to him one-on-one for a while, talked about the bike shop. And then other people came in, and we made way for them so they could get pictures and stuff, sponsors. And Alexis came over to me, and she goes, "I think he might want to play." And I said,
Awesome.
he can do whatever he wants. And then I waited until they walked away. It was only 5 minutes or so. So I'm walking over, and Alexis is right near me. And I said to him, I said, "Billy, do you want to play?" He goes, "Maybe." "Where's your set list?" So I got the set list, and he picks it up and he looks at it. He goes, "This is my set list." I said, "Yeah, it is. I've been following your sets. I use your pacing. I mean, I make my own, but I learned about what he did in different sections."
Oh yeah, he's got his set list just honed down to a T. It's beautiful.
Well, why
So.
would I? Really? And once I found out about Set FM, why the hell would I write a set? I'm going to use his sets. I'll move them around a little bit.
Throw in some lesser known songs for the big fans in the back. So
Yeah, we have some of those, but as much as I love Billy's music, I find myself getting pigeonholed because if we're doing an hour and a half show to John Q. Public
yeah.
and we do Rosalinda's Eyes, it ain't going to work.
Well, that's what they found out even at Madison Square Garden. Those
Yeah.
are the get up and pee songs. And they don't know.
And so we end up doing a very similar set when we are in a 90-minute mode. We do some that have intermissions, some theaters and things like that. So
Now, do you guys end with Piano Man? Spoilers? Yes. Okay.
yeah, I always say that if we don't do this song, we're going to get arrested by the Billy Joel police.
Which is
They're
that's so funny because you thought that sounded so hokey when you first heard it back in '73.
Yeah, no. I learned a lot about Bill Cosby. So anyway, the conversation ensued, and I said to him, I says, "What song would you want to do?" And he goes, let's do New York State of Mind. And I said, okay, how are we going to do that? You want me to just sing and you're going to play? He goes, we'll figure it out.
Ooh.
So we'll figure it out. So now I move it down in the set, maybe to the sixth or seventh song, because he's now going out into that crowd. There were 7,000 plus people there. And I said to him, he's just going to walk out there. He's probably going to get inundated.
Yeah.
And he didn't. I mean, people took pictures with him, but the crowd was very cool.
Good.
They were very, from what I saw and heard. And I expected him to come up for New York State of Mind. And he didn't.
Yeah.
Now,
you're like, oh no, he's left. Oh,
he actually stuck. Because we played like 5 songs, and I didn't think he was going to come up. I started getting really disappointed. And
that's tough to go on, continue your show where you're like, he was going to come up, and now he's not here.
Well, hey, let me tell you this, bro. After he left, we had about 15 minutes before we took the stage, and it hit me like a ton of bricks.
Maybe he's just being nice.
I got to go out and play in front of him. Okay, he's there. That's a whole different thing for me. So my guitar player, he could see it in my face. He goes, dude, you've done like 750 shows. Go out there and do it. And I went, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I went out. I thought we played very well. Van was on the game. And I said to the people, because I did ask Billy, I said, am I allowed to say that you were here, that you were here?
Yep.
He goes, no, it's okay. He goes, whatever you want to do. So when he didn't come up, I had said to the people earlier on, we might have a special guest here tonight, but I said it in a way like it might have been a local musician.
Yep.
Didn't go, hey, we might have a special guest tonight. I didn't do that. But then I said, I'm going to tell the people he's here. He said I could.
Yep.
I said, well, I got to tell you guys that while we were in the dressing room, we had a very special guest, Billy himself. And Billy, I know you're here. I said, I'd love you to come up. I said, but if you want to play, you want to come up, that's great. If you just want to come up and say hi to everybody. I says, but if you're still here, come on up.
Yeah.
2 minutes went by and he started walking up. I saw the police guys were escorting him. And he came up. But we had already done New York State of Mind. So I walked with him over to my piano and I said to him, I says, what do you want to do? And he looked at the set list again. He says, let's do We Didn't Start the Fire.
Really? That was his suggestion?
Yeah.
The one with the most words that he could screw up.
Well, it was funny because our sound man had to set up a monitor for him because we're all in-ears.
Yeah.
And Billy wouldn't have heard what he needed to hear. So this guy set up in advance, but he wanted to get Billy to test everything. So Billy sits at my piano, which is another sitting at my keyboard. Okay. So he did check, and the people started screaming, and everybody's chanting, Billy, Billy. So he goes over to Mike. He goes, yeah, I didn't know I was going to work today. And everybody laughed. And so I said to him, I says, listen, do you want a regular piano sound, or do you want me to give you the patch that I have for it? He said, let me hear it. So I just, and he goes,
yep. Kind of warbly in the background. On YouTube, I heard testing it. Yeah.
So
I did my research for this. I know it's good.
He says, yeah, I like that. Just leave it. So I said to him, I says, we good? You ready to start? And there's all kind of stuff going on. And he goes, yeah, as long as I don't screw up the words. And I looked at him and I went, don't you know the guy that wrote this? And he goes, yeah, I know the guy that wrote this. And I says, all right, let's have some fun. So I was on my guitar player's mic, and they started playing, and I thought he sounded good. And I was happy to hear that. And he did the first 2 verses in the chorus. When we went into the third verse, I was watching him, And he looked at me as if to say,
Take
"Nope,
over.
I,
Because that's it.
I,
That song's a train wreck if he loses place, or because he's done that
well,
before. And there's
so have I. I know it's hard to believe, but I, my instinct was not to sing into that mic because I don't know how hot that mic was because all he sings is backgrounds. The piano was 15 feet from me. I just ran over and started
oh
singing.
good.
So he like looked at me as if to say thanks, you know. And obviously we finished the song, and it was surreal, and the people were screaming. And Alexis came walking out, and he stood up. He got up from the piano, and he was using a cane.
Yeah.
Well, she said to me, she says, "I think we're gonna have to do another one." And I said, "Billy, you want to do one more?" And he didn't even say anything. He looked at the set list, and
Pick one you know the words to. Huh?
he goes, "Let's do Big Shot." And I said, "Let's do it." And he sat down, and we started the song. And he turned around to my drummer and said, "It's too fast." So Jeff pulled it back a little bit. It was normal for what we play, and I don't think we play it too fast, but it might have been not what he was used to. But that's
Well,
what he
because
really,
he's used to on that one to be walking around the stage doing his antics and stuff. So yeah, I could see him
which
going
is
a
what
little
I
slower
do.
for them.
Yeah, I don't play piano in that song. When we do it,
Okay.
I'm up front. And we did that song, and his kids were dancing, and he was smiling, and he just was happy. You know, and that just made me happy. And you know, when we got done, we helped get him off the stage, and I thanked him and I gave him a hug. And I ever since then I've just been in this different state of mind because to know that Billy wanted to come see my band and that he actually got on stage with us, and I didn't even think of it the night of the show that this is the first time he's been in public.
Yeah. Yeah.
It went
He's
crazy.
that's
It went
awesome.
crazy. And this is the honest to God truth. We do 55 older communities, but they have Broadway stages in some of these places. And we do theater work. Every single show since January 2nd has been sold out. Every show. Every show. Oversold. They talked on a couple about putting another show on simply because of that association.
Yep. Because
And
you got on the news.
it's the power of Joel. You know, I mean, and if I could talk to him again, I would just want to thank him profusely because he changed our trajectory a bit. You know, he made us more visible. And now we're playing Wellington this Saturday
Okay.
on his birthday.
Oh,
And he
we
lives,
might have you come back and talk again.
well, everybody's talking about lightning striking twice. To be honest with you, I highly doubt it, but it's not out of the question.
Right.
He could come up. I really would like one more time to have a conversation with him. Who knows? But even if I don't, I'm forever blessed by that. It just, I can get emotional. It just meant a
Yeah.
lot. Meant a lot to me. I mean, I love the man. I truly love him. I mean, I've been doing this 15 years and I've made a pretty good living from it. And I want to keep doing it very, very much. And maybe one day we can play somewhere where you can come see the show. I would love for you to
Sounds.
see it.
Oh, I'd get up on stage and play with you.
Anytime, bro. Anytime. Just
That's
you don't
awesome.
even have to call. Just walk on stage like Billy did.
Well, because you now have the label forever of being the person that got Billy Joel back on stage after what happened. So just you are a part of his story now too.
Wow. Yeah. You know what? I don't even know if I should say this, but I had a guy come up to me after Billy had left, and we were just doing a little meet and greet off the stage. And this guy comes up to me and goes, "Man, you might be the last band he ever played with."
Ugh.
And I looked at this guy and I went, "Please don't say that." I don't want that accolade. I don't want that at all.
No.
I even talked to Billy about it. I asked him how he was doing, and he said to me, he says, "I really feel good." He says, "It's just that my balance sucks."
Yeah.
And when we started talking about him coming up, he like almost like sidebar. He went, "I haven't been playing and singing that much," and I said, "You're going to be fine. Be fine." And
That's why I'm surprised he picked "We Didn't Start the Fire."
yeah, I don't know, but listen,
He must secretly like that song a lot. That's great.
I was shocked when he said that, but I didn't judge. I just said, "Okay."
He
Here we go.
probably trying to go along with where you were in the set list. Anything so anyway, so it would make sense.
It could have been because it wasn't that far down, um, but it doesn't matter to me that he did that song. And in fact, when we were in the dressing room, I said to him, I says, Billy, you can just play the show. I'll go out and watch. And he goes like this. He goes, "Who's going to pay me?" And I went like this. I go, "I got 5 crisp 20s in my pocket. I got you, man." And he started laughing. And, but, I mean, we had moments, we laughed. And I told him, I said, "My wish for you is that you get to the point where you can come out and you can do more shows, maybe not as frequently. But I really want to see you on stage again."
Maybe not moving around on stage as much. Maybe just take the Elton approach where he just sits at the piano the whole time. I'd be
Billy
happy.
can sit at the piano and he'll still sell the place out. It don't matter. But I don't know. I know it's a very treatable condition, and I think he's got obviously the best doctors in the world. Um, I'm really, really hopeful that he'll be able to do some more, and that's what I want for him, and I'm sure he does too.
Yeah.
Because I could just see it in his eyes, even though he was just playing with my band, he was in his zone, especially Big Shot. He was in his zone. And that just warmed my heart. And I kid around with my band all the time. I said, "For about 12 minutes, you were Billy's band."
Yeah.
About 12 minutes, maybe 15. But everybody got to meet him. And it's just it's been amazing.
That's
It's,
awesome.
you know, I can't, I did say to him when he said to me that he knew who we were. And I said, "I can die now." Bike shop. I
Then
said,
he'd have to finish the show. Come on.
yeah. But I I cannot thank if he hears this somehow. I can't thank him enough, Billy. If you do hear this, and if you do hear this before Saturday and you want to play,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say May 9th at Wellington's. Again, doors always open.
yes, absolutely. I would love it if he came, but I would be completely understanding why he wouldn't. Because even his wife said, she said to me, she said he told her he wanted to come the Monday before the Friday he came up. He said, "I want to go see these guys."
Okay.
They had,
Oh,
they,
like, hey, let's make plans for the weekend. Okay.
yes. And then she said to me, "It's a little tough for us to make plans 5 days out because we don't know,
Yeah.
is he going to have a good day or a not so good day?" And she said, "We woke up this morning and he was fired up. He wanted to come. And thank God." So I thank you, brother. I mean, we've known each other casually, and this is an honor. And I think what you do means a
You're,
lot to the football fans out there.
you're going to make me blush. Stop.
No, you really have. I've never stopped following you, and I read the stuff, and I saw when the whole thing went down, I saw a lot of conversations about it on your page, and I feel really good that we got exposed maybe to more people because our whole goal is just to celebrate Billy's music with fellow fans because everybody
Yeah.
that comes to see us is a fan for the most
Well,
part.
including you guys. That's why you do it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been so much fun, and it still is. And like I said, if the good Lord allows, I'll do it until I can't do it anymore. I hope that's a long time from now, but you never know.
That's awesome. So we've got the show coming up this weekend. Is there anything else you want to promote? You've got your website, Turnstiles.
Yes.
Not turnstiles.org is an old web.
No,
that
that's
was one,
very old.
That was one of the very first websites out there for Billy.
Yeah, our website is just thebillyjoeltribute.com.
Okay.
Very simple.
And I know you've got T-shirts and CDs because I've got some of those. Yeah, just.
Well, believe it or not, since COVID,
Oh,
we really got away from the
Merch.
CDs and stuff. We're kind of reinventing that now. What we're going to do is on our website, we found a company that we can source through them and have them just ship. So you'll be able to go on there and choose an item. It could be a thermos, a baseball hat. They'll put our logo on it and they'll just send it to them.
like Beatles lipstick, you know.
Yeah, right. So yeah, we're still working on it, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean we're going on a little summer tour. We're going to be up in Ohio, Pennsylvania.
All right.
We're going to be in Virginia, North Carolina. So if you go on our website, you'll be able to see where we're going to be. And we do have fans in those areas from going up there. Usually July we go away
Okay.
because it's dead down here, as far as gigs. So we do some traveling, and that's getting much better. And we're going to Dallas, Texas in a couple months to do a show there, and we might be going to Vegas. Well, we'll be going to I'm trying to think what it's called now, where the Riverside casino is, Laughlin.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Over on the
right
water.
out. Where they've been talking to an agent about us, and they want to bring us out there for like 5 days. So
Little residency for you.
yeah, 1 week. But I cannot let everybody know how much just playing his music means to me. It really means a lot to me. So
I know that feeling. That's great. Well, before we go, I want to show a news clip that you guys had down in Florida. I'm going to just flip it over. It's about a 2-minute clip. Just hang around and we'll say goodbye afterwards, okay?
Okay.
All right, just a second.
New at 5:30, the leader and frontman of a Palm Beach County-based Billy Joel tribute band, pitching himself after performing with his idol.
Yeah, Billy Joel joined the Turnstiles on stage this weekend during Wellington's 30th anniversary celebration for a surprise performance. Jay Jarvis spoke with him about this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It's a night Tony Monaco will never forget.
I'm elated. I'm in awe that something like this could happen to us.
Us means Turnstiles, the Billy Joel tribute band he founded after moving to Palm Beach County from Long Island.
And we were working for next to no money, but it was the passion.
Monaco says he's met Joel before, and Joel has thanked him for keeping his music alive through his band. But he always held out hope that one day the star would make it to a Turnstiles show. Well, one day turned out to be Friday at Wellington's 30th anniversary celebration.
I see this lady walk in, and then these 2 little girls walk in. And as soon as I saw the girls, I knew it was Billy's daughters. And then he came in. I stood there like frozen, and I've met him before. It wasn't starstruck, it was like disbelief that he was actually there.
Monaco said Joel's wife hinted that Joel might like to perform with the band, marking what would be his first performance after he was diagnosed with a brain disorder last year.
I said to him, I said, what would you like to do? He says, I don't know, give me your set list. So I gave him the set list, and it was funny because he looked at it and he goes, this is my set list. I says, well, of course it's your set list. I says, I play your music.
Then the set got underway and Monaco's dreams came true. Joel came up to sing his hits Big Shot and We Didn't Start the Fire with Turnstiles.
And it was like, oh man, talk about validation. Here's my hero. He's sitting at my piano, singing into my mic, and I hear him in my monitor. It doesn't happen every day, you know what I mean?
Monaco says he's not sure how Joel heard about their performance Friday, but the details just don't matter.
I don't have any words, If Billy sees this, Billy, I got no words, thank you. You were amazing.
In Palm Beach Gardens, Jay Jarvis, WPBF 25 News.
That's awesome.
Some of my lines, but the fact that we did the TV spots was very cool.
Oh, I'm sure, and that's really gets your name out there too.
Yeah.
Like you said, all those sold out shows. This gets you in the story, which I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad things are going great for you. I'm so glad that you got Billy back in the spotlight too and let him perform.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you're not the last band.
No, I don't want that at all. That would not be something I'd be happy
Gosh.
with. But,
Well,
I mean, like I say, I would probably put about a 15% chance he'll show up.
that's awesome. We got our fingers crossed for you. We're all rooting for you. Well,
Maybe.
I'm going to sign off. Don't hang up. I'll chat with you after it's done. But I just wanted to say goodbye to everybody else that's watching for now. And remember, remember, you haven't heard Billy Joel till you've heard Billy Joel completely retold. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next episode.